Welcome to As the Story Grows. I'm Brad Patton. Today we welcome Joe and Kirk from New York hardcore band Cash Bribe to the podcast. Cash Bribe released Escape from New York back on December 1st. The guys talk about being transplants to New York and trying to find their way in the music scene, how the other members keep the band's sound from getting stale, the inspiration for Escape from New York, and more. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast feed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's at least 2 episodes every week, and you never know when you'll discover your new favorite band. So never miss an episode by subscribing on your podcast platform of choice. Enjoy getting to know Cash Bribe.
My singer's about to hop on here. I think it'll just be a sec.
There he is.
Yeah, I am.
There you are.
What's up, Brian? How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Chilling. It's
Awesome.
a nice P bass back there, man.
Yep. It needs some work really badly. The action is fucking terrible. The strings are way high. Everything buzzes. It's
Oh yeah,
it's awesome. It's great, but I'm too lazy to do it myself, and so I just need to go to Guitar Center.
I hear you. I mess with it. I do work on the things, but I like barely know what I'm doing. So like, you know, if it comes out well, that's almost by accident.
Right. I watched some YouTube videos and I was like, I'm gonna fuck it up if I do it myself.
Definitely.
I have a guitar right here that last January I was like, you know, I'm gonna learn to do everything, and I refretted it, and I ruined it. It works. It works, you know, and it's my guitar, so it's fine. But I was like, I'll do setups. I'll like do little electronic things, but I'm never doing like full service stuff ever again. That they're pros for a reason. They make good, you know,
right.
they don't charge that much for taking care of our babies, you know?
Right. Yeah. So I got that one. So
oh shit.
I can just like be cool with that one not working well.
Yeah. What is that an Ibanez?
It is Spectre.
Sweet.
It's my wife's actually, so
Right on.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's up.
Yeah, I always thought that was cool, man.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's not talk about me anymore. Let's talk about you guys. You guys are from New York?
Well, as luck would have it, me and Joe are the transplants from the band. Our bass player Brian, he's from Queens, and Larry, he's the drummer. He is from like Long Island. Grew up out there. Myself, I grew up in Central Virginia, and Joe's from Dallas, Fort Worth, right?
Yeah, and I've been here 15 plus years, so some people say that I can call myself a New Yorker now, but I'm still a Texan too.
Yeah.
I feel like they changed the year. Like I've been here for like 11, 12 years, something like that. And when I first moved here, they're like 5 years you're a New Yorker. Then it's 10 years. Now it's 15. And I just don't think I'm ever going to be one.
Yeah.
I think I'm out of luck.
Yeah. Where in Virginia?
I grew up in Charlottesville,
Okay.
and then I went to school in Richmond.
Okay.
So I was living there for a while before I moved up here.
Okay. Cool. What led you to both of you to New York?
For me, it was work. I got a degree in journalism, and I was like, well, I have to use this because I need to make money. And it's a lot tougher to do it in Richmond than it is in New York. So,
Yeah, I came up for school. It was intentional, though. I wanted to live in New York, so I just made it happen, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah. I always wanted to live here, man. You see it on the TV and everything, and it's just like, modern day Rome. You want to see the place of like supreme importance to the world and all that. I don't know. Like it seems like for a place so important is relatively close to where I grew up. Is like, why not live there?
Okay. Nice. Well, what got each of you into music?
Yeah, I grew up in a really musical family. It was nice. I started playing piano when I was 5. My parents got me into rock and roll from an early age. Like my dad bought me my first Black Sabbath CD. Like,
nice.
Yeah. And then like being in a kid in like Dallas punk was, it's just a right place, right time kind of thing. A lot of bands were coming up through that at that time. Like Power Trip came up, or they formed in 2012, but they were all part of the scene before that. Like, a lot of the guys from Frozen Soul were in punk bands, like Unit 21, Tolar. It's just a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy, and a lot of different music going on the heavy spectrum. There's punk, there was hardcore, there's metal, there was crust. Chaos and Tejas was still popping off down in Austin, so the Austin connection was really strong, as it still is today. Mm-hmm. And Texas just has good music, man. Up here, like that Warthog was kind of like where I really started paying attention to what was going on in New York. Chris Hansel was also in the Men, that album Immaculata, which I think was like 2011 or something. Just really blew my mind. The idea of like, I don't know. I don't even want to like ascribe what they did to it, but it's just this sonic noise punk, like masterpiece. It's so loud. It's so emphatic. But yeah, I don't know. That was a long answer, but short answer is like, as soon as I saw punk, as soon as I saw heavy music, I knew I wanted a part of it.
Yeah. Was it tough going from, New York has a rich music scene, and I imagine it's still vibrant. Like, was it tough going from like a scene in Dallas where you probably know a lot of people up to New York and just like this outsider?
It was, it took me a really long time to get into music in New York, to like go to shows regularly. I still don't know many people at punk shows. I go to a lot. I try to go, I go to as many as I can. It took me a really long time. It was a little confusing. Punk is super diverse. It's all over the place in New York. There's like a lot of cool bands in Brooklyn, a lot of cool bands. There's this little scene up in Astoria, Queens that stretches all through like northern Queens. You got punks from Long Island, you got them in New Jersey. They're just all over the place, and there's so much different stuff going on. I think it like overwhelmed me for a long time. I think it was, I kept following Texas punk for a few years after I moved up here, and I wouldn't really go to shows unless I was back in Texas. My buddy Michael would take me to shows. But there he is.
Hey. The internet literally gave out in my house, so I'm on my phone now.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Awesome.
I just gave my answer about getting into music, and then like the scene in New York versus like the scene where I grew up.
Oh,
so,
cool. Okay.
Your turn, buddy.
Yeah. What got you into music?
When I grew up, my dad was really into. He had a big old CD collection, and he had a lot of blues and like Albert King. He had a lot of like he really liked the 70s like rock and roll, like the kind of the Cream knockoff bands, like the James Gang, stuff like that.
Blue Cheer, baby.
Yeah. And he also my dad had a guitar. I thought that was really cool when I was a little kid. So I wanted to learn how to play it. I started playing the bass at first. But then, it's a little harder to write songs with a bass than it is a guitar. So, I switched over to guitar for that reason. And, Musically, while I started off with like, my dad's blues records, and my mom had like Michael Jackson on the turntable when I was, really little. But then, as I got a little older, I got into the new metal that was popular at the time. And then, kind of just found that was a little too whiny for me, and kind of got into, other heavier tinged things. And now I'm here. So,
yeah. What was the scene like in Charlottesville?
Well, pretty non-existent. It was Dave Matthews is the big guy there, and I know that the first show I ever saw in Charlottesville, I would have been like the first metal show I ever saw there. I remember it was this band Siapus. Yeah, no, I saw them at it was a club in Charlottesville. It was like the Outback Lounge, I think is what it was called. It was a real like dingy piece of shit. But I saw them there. When I moved to Richmond I went to the university there, VCU, and that's like I went there because Richmond is where like so much music is.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, man. I mean, at that time, like Lamb of God was just blowing up, and
hell yeah.
Like Guar was, Kings, of course. And as soon as I got to school, I started going to the shows there, and kind of didn't stop. It's kind of miraculous that I got through school at all, but but yeah, I mean, some definitely. I saw Lamb of God at one time. They were playing this club. It was Canal Club in Richmond, and they were touring on Ashes of the Wake at that point, and that was just like this real like King Me kind of show. You know what I mean? Like it was like I think they were still doing the Wall of Death at the time, and I think somebody crowd surfed like Randy or the guitar player Willie or whatever into the hall. Like there's like a stairway leading out of the venue, and I think they crowd surfed them into it. Richmond's fun, man. Like the bands, a lot of really great bands have come out of there and are coming out of there, and the scene is really strong, and it was so much fun, and it's definitely gave me a lot of room to expand and pick up shit.
Yeah. Let's talk about Cash Bribe. How'd this band get together?
Well, the band started as essentially a diversion for myself and the drummer to, not drink as much. Basically, we started, it was me, our drummer Larry, and then a guy named Colin. He was our bass player at the time. We were all friends, and Collins gets the bright idea, like, hey, like they have these places that you can rent by the hour for rehearsing. Let's just get in there and jam, see what happens. So we do that, and that's a lot of fun. And before you know it, we hit a groove, kind of start writing songs together. I think we have a song on our first EP called Bad Vibes. I think that was like one of the first songs we wrote together. And I was just screwing around, ripping off Venom, the main riff to black metal. I was actually playing that riff. Yeah, I was playing that riff, and then Larry, I guess he didn't recognize it. I mean, he doesn't listen to a lot of Venom, so like, he didn't recognize it, and he starts playing. I was like, all right, well, I guess this is a song, man. Like, cool. And then it gave us something to do during the pandemic as well. During the height of that, that's when we, it gave everyone a lot of time to like just come up with ideas and, put together music. And that's definitely something that we did. We went out. Well, we didn't go out, I'd say. We're staying inside for a while, and then eventually, we started when, we we started peering out when, you know, people were less horrified to peer out of the doors. You know, we would basically go to practice. Practice was like the only place that we could like go.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was just kind of like our outlet, you know, like, and you know, recorded this EP, that EP rather, during that time, and you know, as we came into doing this one, a lot of, you know, the music that's like on our latest record, you know, Escape from New York, that's you know, a lot of that is left over from that COVID period. So there's, you know, those themes of you know, destruction, you know, apocalyptic ruin, you know, things like that. But, you know, we're kind of, I feel like with Joe and Brian, we're able to sort of neatly put a bow on it and, you know, push past it. And, you know, now we're onto, you know, all new territory.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe, how'd you end up in the band?
Craigslist, baby. Yeah, my like takeaway from 2020, I joined in like autumn 2021, summer 2021. But like, you know, all of the stagnancy and the shut-inness and all of that, just like personal stuff that happened in my life basically shoved me out, you know, at the end of the shut-in period to just wanted to play heavy music. I wanted to play punk. I wanted to play something extreme. I wanted to scream. I wanted to be a frontman. So finding that Craigslist posting, you know, it took a long time to find took me a long time to find a band. Yeah. I rehearsed with 5 or 6 groups that I met on Craigslist. You know, you'd get there and the fucking drummer wouldn't know how to play drums, you know, or the bassist just like didn't show up. And it's like, oh, you guys have been together. When I got into the room with Kirk and Larry the first time, there was just this enthusiasm about it. There was this energy. I was very upfront with them. I said, I'm serious. I want to do stuff. I want to go on tours. I want to record. I want to get out of the city. I want to do something that I've never done before with music. And they said, yeah, that's what we want too. We've all been playing music a long time. Kirk's been in a bunch of bands. I've been in a bunch of bands. Larry played, you know, years ago, and we weren't just trying to jam. Yeah, we weren't just trying to get fucked up in a practice space. We're trying to do something. Then 2 months later, we Colin, the original bassist, left for personal reasons. He's our bud. Nothing hard, no hard feelings there. Mm-hmm. And we got Brian Jackson. You know, he came into this practice. I was in the worst state of my life. It was a football Sunday. I'd been drinking all day. I showed up to practice. I was in bad shape, man. They were calling me Nosferatu. I was pale. I was throwing up the whole practice. And, you know, I was like, shit, this guy's really good, and he's not going to want to join the band, man. Like, he's going to be freaked out. He's going to think we're a bunch of fucking booze hounds. And I was just like, look, man, don't take this as like I'm not like this all the time.
Yeah, Joe was a trooper that day, man. Like I haven't seen someone look that like pale in a pretty long time. Like he was looking bad, dude.
No, man.
I take it easier on football Sundays before practice now. Before practice, man.
Yeah.
Call me before practice.
Yeah.
It's practice, man.
Yeah. Where did the band name come from?
Honestly, it came from before we were Cash Bribe. We were called we went through a bunch of band names. One of them was like Adult Situations. Cash Bribe, basically everyone had decided that they didn't want to be called Adult Situations anymore. And I was on a binge watching The Simpsons, and Chief Wiggum has a Cash Bribes Only badge on at some point in the show, and I was like, that sounds like a good name. So we chose that and stuck with it. And it kind of fits like it fits kind of, the messages that we're trying to get across in terms of abuse of power, the oligarchy, kleptocracy, the general the general use of money to allow some people to stay stratified over, regular folks like us. And, to me, it kind of summed it up.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, somebody was like, how did you come out of COVID lockdown so angry? And I'm like, were you not paying attention to anything? Like,
how did you not?
Yeah,
I'm angry all the time. This is why I left Twitter, because like I'm just mad all the fucking time.
Seriously, like what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah. We're just spinning our tires, man.
Yeah. What inspired you guys, like, musically? Like, when you started writing, did you know you had a direction, or is it kind of just experimenting to come? I
texted Kirk about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, really, a lot of it starts from we generally, like, the way that we do it is we write the music first, and that's not like a hard. There's no hard and fast rules with how music's made in the band. It's just that's usually kind of how it goes. And a lot, like, guitar wise, that's just sitting around playing riffs, and then if a riff, I like a riff enough that I remember it and want to keep playing it, then I'm like, well, then there must be something to that, and then sort of just build around it, and then bring it to the guys, and then sort of get their reactions to it, and then that'll change what we'll do. Like, we have a song on the record, Life is Devastating, where the first half of it's this dirgy thing, and then it goes into this rock and roll sort of part. And originally, when I wrote that, I wrote a lot of the lyrics on the record, and that one, I was in a really dark place when I wrote that, and so I just intended for the song just to be like a dirge. That's it, like, just like one of those, like, I Hate God pieces where, like, it's just like you dirge for 2 minutes and feedback and you're done. But then bring it in, and then our drummer Larry, he's just like, nah, man, like, what, he wanted to put the beat from Bomber by Motorhead on it, and and that's what we did, and it was like, oh, this actually works, man, this sounds cool. So that's pretty much kind of how we go about the thing.
We have a really cool dynamic in the room, in that our rhythm section, Larry and Brian, have this really strong backbone of rock and roll. Kirk and I get really out there. We listen to a lot of weird noise shit and grindcore. Shout out Magruder Grind, DC area, right? Yeah. We love all that stuff, and we love our rock and roll too. And we love that Larry and Brian can really ground us in, like, a Motorhead style song, or like, okay, this song is fucking crazy, we're doing blast beats, let's groove for like 8 bars. Yeah. Larry's favorite band is Pantera, and he loves a good rhythmic groove, and that, like, we hit the center of this Venn diagram when we're writing. Well, they do, because I just sit there and watch them when they're writing songs.
Joe, he'll kick in some ideas,
Yeah,
he's not exactly a neophyte when it comes to writing music. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and we just have the center of our Venn diagram is just like a really nice sweet spot.
Yeah,
rock and roll, heavy shit, a little noise, a little pretentious art, but it comes out as this, like, very consistent thing, and it's not intentional. It's not this, like, effort that we put in, like, oh, we need a little bit more of this. It's very, like Kirk said, it varies from song to song, moment to moment.
Yeah, it really just depends on how what you're feeling, how you're vibing, what you're vibing on.
Yeah,
it's just from the gut, I guess.
Yeah, it's always amazing when you, like, write a riff or a song and you're just like, okay, it's going this direction, and then you program some drums or somebody plays on it and you go, oh, that's not at all what I expected this song to go.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it's always amazing. Yeah.
I mean, what I love about playing with Larry too is that if it was left up to me, like, all we'd be doing is, like, blast beats and D beats and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Larry forces me to be like, no, I'm not doing it. He's just like, no, I'm not doing it, first of all.
Yeah.
And, but then, it forces me to be like, all right, so how do I communicate a level of aggression without using things that are most commonly used, like the the D beat or the blast beat or whatever. And it kind of just leads you to interesting spots. So Larry, he's really important in how the music of this band comes around. He's, without him, it wouldn't sound like this.
Album is called Escape from New York. Why did that song or song title capture the theme on the record?
Well, I'd written Escape before Brian and Joe joined. I wrote during the pandemic, and it was just that I was in a car on the BQE, and I look up, and the entire New York skyline is like dead. There's no lights on, and I'd never seen it like that, and it really freaked me out. And just kind of this vibe of we're living in all those the times that all those dystopian movies predicted. We're kind of living in. I think that's the record's just trying to communicate that. And Escape from New York, I mean, it's the kind of thing where, I don't know, it felt right, honestly. I mean, it kind of felt like that fit in with the message that we were trying to get out there. And then, I mean, when with Joe in there and the lyrics that he contributed to the record, definitely just like furthered it along, kind of like, this is definitely like we're definitely all on the same page here when it comes to what we're getting at.
Yeah, we all love the movie too.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
movie rips.
It's a great movie.
I mean, John Carpenter in general. I'm here for.
Yeah. Who did the album artwork?
A buddy of Larry's.
Dark Scribblings.
Yeah. Dark Scribblings. We just. I none of us know how to draw or do art very well, so we reached out to him, and he did a bang up job with it.
Yeah, nice. Album came out Friday. This is like the holiday season when things kind of shut down. Are you guys looking to tour 2024? I know it's been a struggle for independent bands, small bands, to get out there and make a road post COVID. Like, are you guys looking at big plans?
Hell yeah.
Next year?
Yeah.
Trying.
Yeah, we're going to try. I think we're in the process of planning future tours and whatnot. But as it stands, I think in January we're going to go out and do a few dates.
Got a couple out of towns in January, and we'd love to get down because Kirk's from Richmond, Kirk's from Virginia. We'd love to get basically down and back. DC, Baltimore, maybe Wilmington, New Jersey. It always has fun punk shows. Yeah. Philly's always a great time. So we're hoping to make that loop at some point in 24. Discord, form the treacherous path. Did we forget our lessons? I laugh beneath its shade and hope for a better path. Shook me from the rain. We want for better shelter, no place for us to thrive. Give us MST after forever. The record is, we're really proud of it. We recorded it with Sasha Stroud at Artifact Audio, and she just killed it. She got what we were going for immediately. She rules. Shouts out to Sasha.
This is kind of just the beginning of things to come for us. And, if you're into it, then, we appreciate you listening to it, and, stick around, because we should be, only get better from here, I guess.
Yeah. If the message that we're giving, it's pretty transparent, resonates, turn that hopelessness into something productive. Go make art. Go buy somebody a coat. It's getting cold outside.
Yeah, do shit.
Yeah, do something with it. Don't just sit there with, we learned in 2020, sitting there with it is not healthy. Yeah. Do something with it. Take that energy and go do something.
Facts, yeah.
Thanks for listening to As the Story Grows. Our intro music was written and composed by Jeremy Hunt. The As the Story Grows theme is by Bob Nana. If you like what you hear, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and give us a rating and review. If you'd like to support the show financially, you can join us at patreon.com/asthestorygrows. Be a part of our community and join the ongoing conversation over on Discord. If you enjoy this episode, share it on social media with your friends. Much appreciated, and thanks for listening.
I never felt so young.